Donald was the young man who was going to conquer Manhattan.
He takes chances that would make a less daring man shudder.
To think about the arc of where he's been in, it's like some sort of mythical story or something.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger with challenge.
My God, that guy's got resilience.
Those who deal with you underestimate you and live to regret it.
It's always good to be underestimated. It is not about politics. It's about our love for this great country, America, and we're not going to let it fail. I will fight like no one has ever fought before.
Trump is the bodyguard of Western civilization.
You want to talk about a fighter, a walk through fire? He's an absolute savage.
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.
Wow. Oh, man. Are you guys hyped? That got me hyped. That got me way hyped. I love this social media team on the White House. They are unbelievable. Anyways, what's up, guys? How we doing tonight? Woo, I'm back. It's been a weird couple days. I know Members Live, I kind of explained what was going on last night. So for those who don't know, just wasn't myself the last few days, and anyways, we're good. God's good. I'm back, ready to roll. Got plenty to talk about tonight. We're going to get through this. By the way, I'm Ace. You're watching American Fire. This is the live show where I go through the events of the recent days today, get you up to date, give you tomorrow's news today. We go through it. I break it down. I show you what's really going on. I break through the media nonsense. I use 25 years of study of politics, history, theology. We break through it. We get down to what's really happening. And hey, baby, we love Trump here. We love Trump here. So I might have some new people watching tonight. Got some new subscribers. And welcome. Please jump in the chat. We love the chat. Love it. Talk to you guys. Try to answer your questions. Respond to your comments. This is a very engaging show. That's how we do it here. So welcome if you're on YouTube and Rumble or X. I can't see your comments, unfortunately, but everybody else. Tonight, we're going through, there's some wild stuff heading up. Okay, couple crazy stories today, but also what we're seeing could be happening here in the market soon, in the economy. It's all setting up, and I'm going to talk about what I think this is all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan, as the Joker would say in The Dark Knight. I believe it's a setup. I believe we're going to see good things come out of it, despite the fact we might go through a wild few times. So we're going to break that down. Then I'm going to cover the FBI breaking up an NBA rigging scandal, proving sports have been rigged at times. This is the most insane proof we've ever seen in our country's history. So a massive story there. Kesh Patel breaking it up in the NBA and what implications are there. Also, Trump today announcing war, basically declaring war on cartels, drug traffickers across the nation, from Venezuela, wherever, all kinds of gangs, cartels, you name it. So, hey, we got a loaded show tonight. So I look forward to going through it with you guys. But first, before we get started, hit that like, hit that subscribe, give a little love to the channel. What's it hurt? What's it hurt? It doesn't hurt you. Just hit that like. So anyways, hit that up, and let me shout out some peeps here, and then we're going to get started. Cat Sync, what's up, brother? Frank Anastasio, D6, back after a couple crazy weeks. I hope you're feeling well, buddy. Missed you. Blue 5, Toe Cramp in the house. Alice Fordham, what's up? Gomez, Linda Telly.
Young me.
Oh, excuse me. Moose is here. Nate Dogg, what's up? Canito, Linda Telly, LMI, what's up? Lucid in the house. How are you, Lucid? It's been a bit. Lochtefeld, Wago Waco, Ellie, and yeah, Blue 5 says the mafia, rigging sports, totally blind to the stock market, hanky pink. I don't think they're blind to it at all. We're going to talk about that tonight. Charlie M, what's up, brother? How are you? All right, guys, are you ready to get into it? Let's start. We're going to start with the stock market. So yesterday, in my members live, I talked about this a lot, but there was a lot of signs of weakness yesterday. Yesterday, the markets were really red, and some people are really believing something got close to breaking. Okay, lots of interesting stuff about that all over X. And then there came this story. I reported it last night, but I didn't go into it because there was no details. And the story was this, that the Trump administration was going to invest or buy up 10% of several quantum computing companies. And these companies are on shaky ground, but they are heavily speculative, lots of investing, and could be going down and bring a lot of the market with it. What happened instead is that this story broke from the Wall Street Journal, and many people were like, what the heck? What is going on here? This is crazy. Is the Trump administration trying to hold off something crazy in the markets? Is this just another pump? But then today it broke. Oh, it was a fraudulent story. Breaking, Yahoo Finance reports the Trump administration is not in talks to take stakes in quantum computing companies. This comes just 12 hours after Wall Street Journal reported the exact opposite. Quantum stocks are pairing gains on the news. So they started going down, and all of a sudden this huge fake story gets exposed. Why? That's the real question. Why did this happen at all? Well, just Dario speculates, was a Wall Street Journal article of fake news to avoid a complete implosion of wannabes quantum computing stocks? And here it is right here. The Reuters could not immediately verify the report. U.S. Commerce official told Reuters in an emailed statement, the department is not currently negotiating with any of the companies. I mean, this is a massively misreported story that, this shook the markets. It literally controlled massive trades. The kind of thing that, the markets are hanging by a thread right now, guys. And I think most of you know that. Most of you have watched my show for a long time, understand that. They're hanging by a thread. And all it's going to take is somebody to flick out the right card, and the whole house is going to come crumbling down. Well, these quantum computing stocks might have been that card, and yet it was held off. The Wall Street Journal, I mean, what's in the name right there? Wall Street Journal, making up stories? Very interesting. Was something about to break yesterday? That's the question. I was talking to Bam today, and for those who don't know, Bam, investor, friend of mine, brilliant stocks guy, has a algorithm he's developed. It's just amazing at how this thing tracks the markets. It's incredible. It's so smart. Tracks algorithms, tracks money flows, and has all the history built into it, going back decades and decades and decades of the markets. So it's extremely accurate. And he said today that the things slowed down. Like, it looked like we were headed towards something crazy, but they slowed it down, but not by much. So what's happening is it could be massive. And again, I've told you guys, I do believe the shutdown is being used to accelerate this, and also as a cover. So many believe and Bam believes is that and I agree with him on this, is that the cabal, the globalists, the bad guys, they want to use this they want to crash everything to hurt Trump. They want to wreck the economy. They want to blow things up, just get everybody mad. Says they want to in those midterms, baby. But here's the deal. They're not in control. They have a lot of control, especially still on Wall Street. They have their hands engaged in a lot of it. But I think they're being outsmarted here. I think that this shutdown, Trump's using it to his advantage as well. And as the longer it goes on, the more the Republicans and Trump are gaining in popularity, and it's getting more and more blamed on the Democrats. So if they're reaching the peak where the Democrats are getting more and more blamed for the shutdown, and the market crashes during the shutdown, well, then it's easy to say, you guys held on too long. The Democrats, man, they shut down the government. They wouldn't vote to keep it open. And now they've crashed the stock market. It's perfect timing. Perfect timing. I can't tell you that it's definitely going to happen. They could announce a deal tomorrow. However, today was a major vote. Today they had the chance to vote for paychecks for what they call the essential government employees. And the Democrats didn't vote for it. In fact, it's only been 3 Democrats that came over. I believe the vote was either 54-45, 55-45, somewhere in that range. But the point is like they're still far away from that 60. Now, the Republicans could go nuclear, which means kill the filibuster, do 51 votes, but they're not going to do that, at least not anytime soon. What they might do is wait till the Democrats are at their weakest and then pounce on that. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I'm not making a prediction here, but I'm saying the perfect storm is definitely here, and it continues to grow. Here is, while the masses are blindsided by the elite's yo-yo narrative, the real crisis is surfacing in the regional banking sector. Small banks right now are getting absolutely crushed, and there's a liquidity crisis. Behind the scenes right now, we are very close to seeing all kinds of banks, funds go belly up. There's a massive problem right now in private lending. There's a massive problem in regional banks. In fact, it's so bad. Let me show you guys this right here. U.S. bank reserves are now below the level where the U.S. regional bank crisis started in 23. Differently from April, there is no panic selling of stocks and generalized Liberation Day panic to justify this level yet. This is crazy, okay? So 2023, if you guys remember, we had the biggest bank failures in history. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Silicon Valley Bank was the big one, but there was a couple others. Kaput, gone. Vaporized in March of 2023. Massive crisis. So the Fed created the BTFP program to influx a bunch of banks with temporary funds that lasted about a year. That now is gone. And suddenly we're back to where we started. Regional banks getting crushed. And yet their liquidity issues are worse now. The reserves are worse now than they were in 2023 when all that collapsed. And yet nothing's happened yet. We're hanging on the verge. We're waiting for that straw to break the camel's back. The straws are piling up, which is going to be the last one that breaks it. How do they get out of this one? It doesn't seem like there's a way. So why aren't we seeing it get worse? I don't know yet. They're waiting on something. They're holding on. And this is what's interesting to me. Why? Why keep pushing it unless they don't want it to happen yet? It's too early for them, which tells me that maybe Trump's the one and his administration is the one that's ready for this to happen, because they announced the government investing in these quantum computing stocks, the government denies it. So there's no pump there. And then Trump just did this. The Ronald Reagan Foundation has announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement, which is fake, featuring Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was for $75,000. They only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. If Trump was trying to pump the markets right now when they're weak, this is not how you do it. This is not how you do it. This is not good news. We had the trade negotiations fall apart with China, where now he's now completely canceled all negotiations with Canada. In other words, a lot of these opportunities that the markets were kind of hoping for the tariffs to go down, not happening. Now we're a week away from November 1st, where Trump's announced a 155% tariff on China should anything get fixed. And he says they're not going anywhere. Where is all the trying to manipulate, pump the markets here? I'm not seeing it. Maybe someone else is coming, but I'm not seeing it. And anybody who thinks that Trump doesn't know the markets are hanging by a thread right now, they don't know what they're talking about. Scott Bessent is all over it. In fact, he's one of the smartest men about the economy we have. But it's bad right now. We have George Gammon, brilliant economist, pointing out we have no idea how bad the situation is in private equity and credit. That's why this crash will, in fact, be different this time because we'll have no warning. Multiple banks' lenders could announce insolvency over a weekend. Will it be this weekend? Again, I can't call for a crash. I can't predict it. I can't say it's here. But I'm listening to the people who know this stuff better than I do, who are tracking it. And they're all screaming, this is DEFCON. What's the worst one? Does it go 5-1 or does it go 1-5? I can't remember. This is DEFCON 3, right in the middle. Super elevated and ready to get bad. Okay? Ready to get really, really bad. This is everywhere. And yet the market continues to hit all-time highs. It is so fraudulent. It's crazy. Today was a good day and lots of stocks. Finger, awesome day. I mean, we saw it was green across the board. So many of the stocks we track did really well today. Great day. But is it going to last? I'm not feeling good about it. I'll say this. In my time following the markets, the only other time, and I have really been following them since 2021, and I've been learning along the way, the stock market in that time. So not super, that is not my expertise, although I've learned a lot. But in all the time I've been watching this, following it, this is easily the most red flags I've seen without something having broken yet. The only other time it seemed to be even close to this was in 2023, but that was when the banks had already started failing. We didn't get all these warning signs first. So all I'm saying is, guys, it seems like something's ramping up and there's got to be a release. And it's either going to come through a major market correction / crash, or we're going to see something else happen here soon. Something that comes unexpected and jumps in to save stuff. So let me see. Michael Anthony says, what is finger trade in under FNGR? One's the worst. DEFCON 1. Thank you, Alan. Kryptonian says, the Justice Department, FBI, and every regulatory agency responsible better bring the receipts like they brought the breaking illegal gambling today, hoping they're working on this. I'll tell you, hey, Thomas Dubois, what's up, brother? He's still alive. God, Thomas, every time I don't see you for a while, man, I wonder. I hate that, but so glad you're doing well. How are you feeling, bro? You got to let me know. For guys, Thomas has got cancer, and we've been praying for him for a long time now, and he's been in and out doing well. So, Thomas, it's really good to see you, man. It's really good to see you. Let's see. Snap will make it happen. Yeah, that's the other thing. On November 1st, if this shutdown continues, which I think it will, on November 1st, the SNAP benefits dry up. And that's going to cause some chaos in the markets because, A, that's a lot of money that's not going to be getting pumped into the system. 40 million people get SNAP benefits. How crazy is that? But we have also got a ton of videos coming out, being shared, TikTok, Instagram, X, all over the place, of people saying they're going to either riot once the SNAP benefits dry up, or they're just going to start looting for food. So we could see some civil unrest happen as well. I'm telling you, things might seem calm now if you're not paying attention, but those willing to look under the hood know that things are bubbling to really build up right now. And here's the thing. Trump seems chill AF. He seems cozy. He doesn't seem worried at all. There's no rush to end the shutdown. There's no rush to freak out on the markets. They're not going out there. Trump's not even doing his PRs right now where he's saying stuff to try to boost the market up. I mean, it is wild. Every other time the markets have gotten into a bad place in the last few months since Trump's second term, there have been efforts to give the market something to be excited about. Trump has not done that this time. It's fascinating to me. I am a student of the man, of Trump. I really am. And I'm telling you, what I'm reading from him is he's okay with this playing out from what, because again, there's no way he doesn't know that what's going on. Bissett came out today and he had this to say. Do you see any warnings about the market here? But no, let me play what he says. You guys tell me if Bissett seems like a man who's worried about where we're at.
Very contrary to what everyone said, we had for the fiscal year last year, we had a lower deficit than we did the previous fiscal year. And it's as Warren Buffett says, when people ask him, how do you lose weight? You eat less, exercise more. How do you control the budget deficit? You spend less or control spending and grow more. And you're Mr. Growth. So if we can keep the spending flat to down and grow at least a nominal 5%, maybe higher, then our deficit to GDP, it ended the fiscal year with a 5 in front of it, down from the 6.4, 6.5, which was the worst when we weren't in a recession, weren't at war. And I think we could make substantial progress again. And I would hope we could be in the low 5s or something with a 4 in it for next year.
Yeah. Well, promises made.
Very contrary to what
So he's out there talking about the deficit getting lower, GDP going up, which it is. The Atlanta Fed has predicted that the GDP for this next quarter is to be 3.8%. The last GDP kept getting revised up for last quarter. Things are improving. Main Street economy is improving. The GDP is improving. What are they doing in government? They're cutting. The shutdown's allowing more and more cuts. What will a market that crashes, what will that allow? See, the Trump administration is the ultimate opportunist administration. We've never seen a president take advantage of every single opportunity given to him the way Trump does. It just has never happened. He never misses an opportunity. If the market goes down, just like this shutdown, other presidents terrified of shutdowns. They're terrified of the politics of it, and they're terrified of what it means for losing control. And how it looks, people getting upset, all of that. They lose political clout. Not Trump. Trump's excited about a shutdown. as he's cutting. It seems like to the media, it's like a major catastrophe crisis we're in. Trump administration is like, cool, now we get to cut. They are cool as cucumbers. They are totally prepared for all this. Market crash, market correction. There's a lot of people who think that Trump just only cares about the stock market. They don't know the man. If you read The Art of the Deal by Trump, he hates Wall Street. He doesn't believe in gambling on stocks. He hates how manipulated it is. He's not a fan. One of his biggest enemies in America, Ken Griffin. Hates Ken Griffin. Hates him. A stock market crash or correction allows this administration to clean it up. Some people are saying, in the chat, this NBA stuff, hope the FBI goes after Wall Street the same way. That's the opportunity right there. Because if they do it before, say Trump went in 3 months ago in the middle of the summer, things were doing great. If he goes in then and he busts all the hedge fund guys, he busts all the short sellers, the FBI comes in, breaks up all the stock manipulation, you know what happens? Stock market crash. Because those guys are holding it all up with their paper tigers. It's all fraudulent, and it's all held up because of the high frequency trading, the dark pools, and how they just manipulate everything. You take those bad players away, it all falls apart. And then Trump gets blamed on it because most people don't pay attention the way we do. They don't understand how bad the markets are. They just see their 401k going up. Once that 401k goes down and they hear that Trump did it because he went after people, that destroys the political clout for what they need to do going forward. But if a crash happens on the shutdown, Democrats getting blamed for it, or the shutdown at the very least getting blamed for it, not Trump, because this is Congress's deal, not Trump, that, my friends, keeps his political power. And then he gets to say, why did this market crash? Why was it fake? Oh, look at all this. People want heads to roll. Now he can blame them for the crash. He can go in, clean stuff up. I think that's what's coming. I really do. I think that's how they are going to take advantage. So, I mean, look at this. Does Trump seem worried about... Look how they are handling the shutdown. Every issue that could be a major issue with the shutdown, Trump seems prepared for.
And a friend of mine, talking about donors, a friend of mine, a man that's great, I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it. Susie can tell you about this, but he called us the other day and he said, I'd like to contribute any shortfall you have because of the Democrat shutdown. I'd like to personally contribute any shortfall you have with the military, because I love the military and I love the country, and any shortfall, if there's a shortfall, I'll contribute it. And today he sent us a check for $130 million. Can you share who that is?
Just incredible. He's got billionaire buddies, probably Elon, coming in and funding the troops during the shutdown. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And I guarantee you this was planned ahead of time. There's just no way that Elon just, as soon as the shutdown happened, was like, I'm going to cut you guys fat checks to pay the military. No, it was probably like, Elon, we're looking at a shutdown coming up. And, I'll be able to pay you back for whatever you give. But, if we could get some real wins, Elon, real wins. If you could help us out a little bit, maybe bankroll us a little bit on, because, if the troops are paid and, the air flight controllers are paid, we can make this last a long time. We can get some cuts. And Elon, Doge man, frustrated that Doge wasn't able to get enough done because Congress wasn't working for him. Elon's all about the shutdown. All about it. I can tell you. He absolutely is. So, guys, I think wild things are ahead stock market wise, but I actually think they want it to happen. Coming out of it, it could be a booming economy. You fix the markets. He's working on fixing Main Street. That's taking time, but it's already working to some effect. But you see the stock market crash, oil goes down, you start seeing markets crash. You know what that also brings? Deflation. So deflation kicks in. You got Trump with the tariffs. You got the manufacturing starting to be built back. You got all these investments coming in. You have lower taxes. You have deregulation. Now you get deflation coming in because the markets have tanked. Oil's going down. Energy is going down. And all of a sudden, we are out. And the American people are able to buy groceries again, get the gas we need. We are able to start building our businesses again. And now we have real markets to work with as well. I think, guys, their plan to hurt Trump is going to backfire on them. I truly do. Hey, Thomas, I just saw this in the chat. Thomas says, 12th day of chemo radiation, 3 more to go. God bless you, man. You're almost there. And then he says that shrinking his tumors are almost gone. Hallelujah, bro. I'm so happy to hear that. You're a fighter, Thomas. I remember, brother, when you got that news this time, it wasn't so hopeful. So that's amazing. That's amazing you're starting to get through. Like, God bless you. So let's just take a second and I'll pray for Thomas. How about that? So, Father, we bless Thomas, his body. We believe in healing. We believe that, God, it can be healed through medicine. It can be healed through prayer, however we get there. So, God, we pray for his body to keep fighting and that these tumors would go away in Jesus' name and he would get full declaration of health this time with no relapse in Jesus' name. Bless you, Thomas. We love you, bro. We're thinking about you. Brett's in the house. Brett's almost always in the house. Fro girl, what's up? Good to see you guys. Brett says they need to introduce a bill to rename sewage treatment plants after Ken Griffin, Doug Seafood, Jamie Dimon. I love it. I love it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Brett, for reminding me to hit everybody up. Alan says Trump is leaving the country. Where's he leaving the country? Is that recent news? Okay, let me move on. Speaking of Trump, real quick, Michael Anthony asks, does President Trump own DJT? Looks cheap. That people I think trying to him also making comments about it. Also, I don't quite know what you're asking, Michael, but I will say, does President Trump own DJT? Yes, he owns 51% of DJT. He is the largest stakeholder in DJT, which means, and I've always believed this, that DJT is one of his ways of fighting back. I have a feeling with Devin Nunes involved, Trump involved in DJT. Remember, Pam Bondi had something like 400,000 shares. Kash Patel was serving on the board of DJT. This administration is very close to the stock DJT. Do you really think they're all okay with it just being shorted to hell to be destroyed? Trump hasn't cashed out his shares, so he's just losing money by the day. I don't think he is. And so DJT, I do believe, once things start breaking, and either when it breaks or when the cleanup comes, we're going to see DJT do something special. So, let's watch and see what happens there. Is Trump going to Korea tonight? I didn't know that. Moose, yeah, don't close your eyes while you're driving, bro. It's okay. Jesus hears prayers with eyes open. All right, let's get to Trump. So, all right, today Trump had a major briefing announcement, and he started calling out all these cartels and basically saying, what they're doing already with all this cleanup, these narco terrorists, drug traffickers, how they're cleaning them up. And he's going through all these. I mean, we've arrested members of Ultraviolet, New Generation Cartel, Sinaloa's, LNFM, MS-13, Trenda Agra, Real Scum, he says. But basically he's announcing full-out war on all these These cartels, let me put it this way. I got back up here. These cartels have been completely taking advantage of our country and killing and hurting our people. The drugs, especially fentanyl, has been killing hundreds of thousands of people the last several years. It's just, if you look at the videos from the streets of San Francisco, it's like seeing 28 Days Later. It's like zombie streets. It's insane. The fentanyl is ruining so many lives. And on top of that, you have the trafficking, especially the human trafficking. These cartels are one of the main people, the cartels and the gangs that run the human trafficking across our borders. They've done terrible things. Trump has now announced war on them. Well, the other part of this is that this is one of the main ways they're funding into a lot of these countries. So the cartels basically run Mexico. They basically run Venezuela, Colombia. Trump's making a big push right now into South America. And you know who's heading this up? Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio knows he's, Cuban ancestry. His parents brought him from Cuba, he was born, but his parents are from Cuba. He was born American. That's how he could run for president. But came across from Cuba. They hate socialism. They hate communism. These are patriots. Marco Rubio is a patriot. He was a neocon. He grew up. He knows better now, but he's still a patriot. And he knows how much this is hurting our country and our people. And on top of that, you have all kinds of ties between these countries, China, Iran. It's ugly. Trump is now breaking all this up. So we see Trump working in all these different aspects in the world. He's cleaning up all this stuff that's impacting us from South America. He's making peace in the Middle East. He's trying to end the war in Ukraine. He's ended all these other wars. He's breaking the power of the globalists. But the globalists, see, they were into everything. And now every little thing he's doing is breaking their power. On top of that, he's also breaking China. China right now is in a deflationary spiral. They are in massive recession, almost depression. It is bad economically in China, real bad. And yet they're still our number one threat, our number one competitor. The globalists are from the inside, and in the shadows, China is from the exterior. Trump's breaking all of them. It's brilliant how he's doing it. He's just chess pieces everywhere. This is a big part of it. Now, he holds a press conference today and is answering all these questions, bringing all this down. Why? It's messaging. It's telling us what he's doing. It's allowing the message to get out there so the people understand, but it's also messaging to those of us paying attention to say, guys, I'm taking care of this. Watch what I'm doing. I mean, listen to this right here. This is when he's asked if he needs to approach Congress for permission.
And briefed them on the operations.
No, we
against
will
these.
go. I said.
You will go, and
we
it would
will
be
go.
difficult for them to object.
I don't see any loss in going. No reason not to. They'll always complain. Oh, we should have gone. So we're going to definitely. I'd like to just tell you, let's go. We'll go.
And Mr.
We're going to tell them what we're going to do, and I think they're going to probably like it, except for the radical left lunatics.
And Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels, and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country.
Just kill them.
Okay? We're going to kill them. They're going to be...
I don't know how many of you guys have studied this, but there is a, going back to the 80s, we hear, the war on drugs. Well, 30 years later, now we have all this information about the actual war on drugs and how the CIA was partially behind bringing all these drugs in. The CIA, the DEA, all of them just involved in this, bringing drugs into our country for lots of reasons, experiments, control, money, all kinds of reasons. And yet it was hidden behind this guise of the war on drugs. And then because they were behind all this, or a big part of it. Then they go on to say, oh, the war on drugs didn't work. And so now what do we do? Well, we loosened all these drug laws across the nation, and now we have a massive fentanyl problem, and we're starting to see issues in all the states that have legalized marijuana. I'm not going to go into all that right now. That's not the point of all this. The point is that we've never had a real war on drugs. We got to the point where we became so permissive, and then it became open border on top of that. You brought in drugs by the boatloads, and now people are dying at record rates in America by these drug overdoses. Trump, first president to actually do a real war on drugs. You have RFK in HHS cleaning up a lot of the pharma stuff and weakening big pharma. And then you have Trump now on the outside, the foreign policy side of it. Instead of just going after drug dealers, instead of playing all these games to make it look like we're doing a war on drugs here on our soil, he's just flat out saying, you bring drugs over here, you die. They keep bringing the boats out, you die. And he's asking permission to start doing more with people trekking it across the land. But see, the reason we're able to do this and focus on the boats and all right now is because the border's closed. They're not getting anything in. So they've been trying to find new ways to get stuff in, one of those through boats, and Trump's just blowing them out of the water. These cartels have got to be bleeding cash right now because their big cash cow is falling apart quickly. Here's some more on this today. Now, this is the saddest, most shocking thing you'll hear, but it's absolutely disgusting. And, if you are, it's like these people, these cartel members are basically inhuman. They are worse or just as bad as, say, like the terrorists we fought in the past. Trump's designated some of these cartels now as terrorists on the same level as ISIS or Al Qaeda back in the day. And once you hear this and what they allowed, this was allowed because of the Biden administration. But Tulsi Gabbard shares some of the most shocking things you'll hear today.
Most insidious was providing intelligence to the Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla. Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections, harvesting organs, and selling newborn babies. Mr. President, it's your leadership that has made all of this possible. I can tell you, in the midst of this government shutdown, our folks, like everyone around this table, are working 24/7 without pay and eager to get after this because they believe in your leadership and the mission that you have presented to them.
Did you guys hear that insanity? They were taking pregnant women, doing C-sections on them, pulling out the babies, and selling them basically for parts. It's, you can't even imagine such evil, and yet that's what these cartels are willing to do, and that's what the Biden administration knowingly allowed. Guys, this is like so sick. And here's the thing, like a lot of people freak out. They don't understand why Trump's being so hard on stuff. Things are being so crazy. And yet that's because you don't understand how evil things have gotten behind the scenes. This was out in the open, but most people didn't pay attention. There is so much evil going on, so much being stolen from the American people, but also people being destroyed, just people not being treated like people, humans being treated like crops almost. It's the most foul, disgusting things you've ever seen, and yet this administration is working to fix all of it. Start in America. You're fixing us because that all happened here. But it's going to it's going to impact these other places as well. We are dismantling, Trump is, I should say. I feel like a we sometimes. I wish. But Trump and this team, they are dismantling some of the greatest evils in the world. And there's, again, our big enemy has been this globalist cabal, City of London types that run so much. You know, they got their hands in, basically run Europe. We're shadow running America through the deep state, through the Democrats, many rhino Republicans, Israel's government, all of that, Mossad, the intelligence agencies, that's the shadow cabal. But then you have China, you have the cartels, so on and so forth. Just evil everywhere, these great evils. And Trump is just systematically destroying all of them or bringing them all down one way or the other. China is, if their economy collapses, who knows what could happen there? Social unrest could topple that government. You know, I think China of all of it's going to take the longest to get solved because it's a massive country, second biggest economy in the world, just huge, many interdependencies there with massive economies. But again, you can see how this plan is just everywhere, whether it's economically rebuilding us, but also foreign policy wise, dismantling all this, while also, you know, being a peacetime president doesn't mean being a wuss. He's not getting us into war with other countries, but he is going out to war with cartels, gangs, mafia. What's the odds that today he announces like all this, talking about destroying the cartels, destroying these gangs, and on the same day, the American mafia faces a major bust with the FBI and in the NBA, the sports gambling rigging. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. But look what's coming in 2026. Let me play this and I'll talk about it.
Question for Secretary Hegseth. Sir, a memo circulating on social media details the establishment of a National Guard response force that's going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Can you verify the authenticity of that memo, and do you have any more information on the operations?
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have multiple layers of National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10 active duty, whether it's Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of different ways that constitutionally and legally we can employ Title 10 and Title 32 forces, and we will do so when necessary.
Did you hear that? So a memo circulating on social media details a National Guard response force going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and be deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. They're weeding them out. They're the building up to systematically destroy Antifa, embedded crime, gangs, syndicates, all over is in the works. It's all coming. It's all starting right now. See, as much as happened in this first year of Trump, you got to remember it's still the first year. A lot of this is still setup for what he really wants to get to. 2026 is going to be crazy. I think the end of this year is going to be crazy, and going into 2026, it's going to get wilder. And if all this goes well, which I have no reason to think it won't, not with the capable people in charge and in place, all this goes well, we're going to be looking at a completely different country in just a couple years. You can see how all the chess pieces are being moved into place. Let me catch up in the chat a little bit here real quick, guys. Yep, Alan, I got you that Tulsi clip for you there. Brett says they missed the Newsome crime family on that list. Well, hopefully we get there eventually. Comey's been at Gitmo. I mean, maybe. Moody says Glenn Beck says he thinks the real reason he's blowing up boats is because Russia and China are moving into Venezuela and Colombia. 100% true. Trump's looking at their oil and minerals. Trump's new Monroe Doctrine. Well, yeah, so not the oil. And that's a big, there's a lot of people pushing this conspiracy theory around that Trump is going after Venezuela to get its oil. It's simply not true. Venezuela does have oil. That is true. But we have people like Ian Carroll out there saying that this is just an oil grab. We don't need it, first of all, okay? We have great relationship with the Saudis. There's plenty of oil there, and we are pumping more oil here than ever before. It is, we are becoming dependent or independent with oil again. That's simply happening under the Trump administration. We're very close to it. The Venezuela problem is that their oil is dirty. It's hard to manufacture, to run through the the refineries. It's hard to refine, and our refineries are not equipped for it. They changed under Trump's first term. We changed our refineries to be equipped for different oil than Venezuela's oil. We would have to change them back and at great cost in order to process that oil again. And like I said, it sucks. It's really dirty, gross oil that takes a lot of work to turn to gasoline. So it's not going to happen. We don't need Venezuela's oil. However, that's why Trump, when he just said Maduro was like offering him all this stuff to like stay away. He's like, he offered it all to me. Joe's like, they're not that interested, but they are interested in keeping China and Russia out. That's true. Russia doesn't need the oil either, but China does. China desperately does. And Trump is trying to choke out China right now because China is playing games where they're trying to ruin Trump's economy, basically. Everything Trump wants to do, they're the ones fighting back the hardest. With the tariffs and all that, they do not want to play fair. The Chinese have been getting, Venezuela oil is heavy oil. That's right, Alan. Dirty, heavy. I kind of associate them the same, but maybe heavy is the better adjective. Sorry, you got me off track now. China hasn't been playing ball. China's been used to for 30 years since the Clinton administration. You could actually go back further, but it really started with Clinton when they got into the trade organizations, the WTO. A lot opened up under Clinton. And then we found out Clinton was selling them secrets. And then the globalization just spread under Bush, and then Obama became like they were just giving China everything. Obama sold secrets to China. Under Obama, that's when China started being allowed to steal our IP, intellectual property. You talk to small businesses trying to sell on Amazon, China steals their IP so quickly and will reproduce their stuff. It's crazy. Amazon allows it all the time. China has not just been stealing our goods with cheap labor, but they've also been stealing IP left and right. That's how China, and Trump's trying to end all that so that Americans can keep their IP, keep their wages, buy good stuff. China has just been robbing us at every corner. They are not willing to stop that. We've been their big cash cow. We've been their golden goose. Trump's ending that. China's fighting back hard. So what's Trump doing? He's choking them out as much as he can. In the Middle East, when Trump went earlier this year, made all those deals with the Middle East, remember, China had been making major inroads in the Middle East, major investments. I guarantee you a lot of that is stopping with Trump, with what Trump's been doing. The Middle East, they love Trump. They love him. So all that being said, Venezuela, we're not going for the oil. So, just don't believe that part. But the part about Russia and China blocking them off is absolutely true. Moody says Venezuela is an island where Iran's training Hamas. Yes, that's also true. Red October. Robine. Yeah, Ian Carroll's terrible. He is terrible. Candace is too. Candace Owens, which we'll talk about a little bit in a minute here. On top of this, we have Trump once again reiterating he's going to keep his promise to expose politicians and billionaires involved with financing domestic terrorism like Antifa. Says we have a lot of information about who they are. You're going to be very surprised when you find out. So can't wait to see that as well. And remember, the funding, that powers it all. If they're not funded, they will fall apart. These people are not, they don't work for one single other government. They've been stealing from our government or being funded by wealthy donors. Many of them made their fortunes off social media, tech, corruption, stock trading. So we're gonna start seeing a lot of that exposed here soon as well. Okay, let's keep moving. I talked about this for a minute last night, but just wanted to share for everybody else. The Ninth Circuit upholded Trump's authority over California National Guard and immigration enforcement. So major setback for Gavin Newsom, but also major win for the Trump administration in deploying National Guard across the nation. So just a big deal there. And based on what we just talked about with what Hegseth was saying about moving out National Guard, training them for more civilian stuff, this will open the door for that to be okay. So very good there. Trump continues to win in the courts. Huge win. All right, let's get to Candace real quick. All right, I'm going to play this clip from Candace. And, Candace, in my opinion, is just a brilliant, brilliant woman. And she's done a lot of good. But this Charlie Kirk thing, I mean, there were other things before this, but she has gone so Israel crazy. And this Charlie Kirk thing just pushed it over the edge. So what she just had to say, I think, is so insane. But this is going around, so I want to share it here as well.
Happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. They're like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died. And we will see you.
So apparently Trump administration killed Charlie Kirk now. Despite the fact he was like a son to Trump, despite the fact he was best friends with J.D. Vance and best friends with Don Jr. I'm sorry, this is just is so crazy, guys. It's so crazy. She has gone off the deep end. It's sad, but again, it's important because, and this is what Trump has been so brilliant at, and what is so important. One of the things that's so important about Trump is the Trump era is marked by exposure. It pushes everybody into their corners and forces you to reveal who you really are. And unfortunately, we're finding out that Candace is a shill. She just is. She's a grifter. She's along with Ian Carroll and all these groups, like is there bad stuff with Israel? Absolutely. In the government, for sure. Is there crazy stuff that's happened with the government in the past? Absolutely, for sure. Did the FBI maybe have something to do with MLK's death? Absolutely, for sure. CIA, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I can buy all that. But we're talking about the hero, the civilian hero of MAGA. And Trump, this is what kills me. It's like all the evidence is so like, there's a reason all the right people hate Trump. There's a reason why things are so different with Trump. So when anybody ever tries to put Trump in the same bag as the other people, they have no idea what they're talking about, or they're purposely lying. So they're either, they fit in one or two camps. They either are completely black-pilled, and so no matter what Trump does, no matter how good it gets, they can never believe that he could ever work for the good guys because they're just black-pilled that everybody's bad all the time. These are the Whitney Webb types. And then there's the people like Candace, who at this point I believe is just paid opposition. I do. I think like this is just so crazy. So to go this far, to say like the administration is now behind Charlie Kirk's death is just asinine. There's literally not a shred of evidence towards it at all, not an iota. And is there some weird stuff that happened? Absolutely. Should it be investigated? Absolutely. Let's get it all out. But to say it was the Trump administration is crazy. It is crazy, and it now tells me that I can't trust her in good faith with anything. So just the wildest stuff. Yeah, she makes no logical sense. Absolutely. Put a sombrero and mustache on her. She would look good with it, right? She kind of looks like, she might look a little bit like Zorro. Everything is narrative seeding, 100%. 100%. Alan says, did I see the USAID to Somalia had to close their hospitals? People there were surprised, like welfare, once they got you hooked to a parasite. Yeah, I did. I saw. So the Democrats are really pushing these stories now from other countries about USAID actually impacting them negatively. And they're the biggest sob stories. And look, if some of them are true, it is sad. It is. But it's also not our responsibility. And the fact that they couldn't differentiate and actually, if Congress wasn't willing to work and actually be like, yeah, maybe we could pull out all this dumb money we've been sending and just keep some of the stuff actually was, we might have been open to a little bit of that, a little bit of it. But that's not what was happening anyways. It was mostly funding and being used to fund all kinds of leftist and globalist agendas. And that is why they had to go. And you know what? Like, it's like with the illegal immigrants. When you have millions upon millions upon millions of people who came here illegally, some of those are going to be nice, decent people who just came across in the crowds or came across to get a better life, So you can do that. You can get all those people pushed over, and then when they're being deported, you're going to get sob stories. There's going to be some that just get caught up in it. That is just what happens under policy. There's always casualties that suck. And it is what it is. But the fact is like, just like you said, they got addicted to that welfare, and now there's a consequence to that. That's what happens when you're not self-sufficient. And I hope their governments take care of it. Doc Lolo, sorry you unsubbed. I'm not gonna miss you if you're a Candace Owens stan. I won't miss you. If that's the thing that made you unsub, well, God bless. Go find another channel. Go watch Candace. CA Human says people are already repeating your theory about Trump. Saw them on our chats today. Well, here's the thing. The only people repeating the stuff with Trump and like killing Charlie Kirk, anything like that, are the people who just want it to be true. And it's going to be mostly Democrats, or it's going to be like rhino Republican types who hate Trump. That's it. So that's the only one. I really don't think Erica Kirk was a part of it, Mark. It's okay if you think that. But I definitely don't think Erica Kirk had anything to do with killing her husband. I'm sorry. Once you find, like, you read their story, how, like, in love they actually were, the kids, everything. I just, it's going a little far. It's like, I can't go there with you. Listen, there's been so many conspiracy theories that have come true in recent years. I get it that you really, that people want to believe like all of them, but there are some that just don't have any, what's the word I'm looking for? There are some that just don't have any evidence to them whatsoever. And it's easy to throw that out there because there's questions, like legitimate questions, but to say that, it's just like the idea that like Israel killed him. It's so stupid. It really is. And it just goes to the fact, like, and Mark, by what you're saying, I've been watching a lot of your chats in here. You're obviously like you're somebody who believes Trump's doing all this good stuff. Well, then you're also believing that Trump is running an op against you about Charlie. And so I don't see how you can believe both those things at the same time. Okay. I'm in cahoots with Trump. Okay, Doc. I do. I love Trump, and he is saving our country. And, you must be a leftist. I don't know. Why did you subscribe to me in the first place? I'm trying to figure that out. Why did you subscribe to me in the first place if you thought I was anti-Trump? Dude, go watch your leftist crap. It's fine. Or libertarian or whatever it is. You hate Trump and you obviously have no idea what you're talking about. That's fine. That's totally fine. Go watch your fake stuff. Go watch your fake crap. But I don't know why you subbed to me in the first place and had to make a big deal about unsubbing. I just, that's insane to me. Why did you even come here in the first place? My channel's clearly pro-Trump. So, and I bring the receipts. Do you have any receipts? I'd love to see your receipts. All right, here's a fun one. Speaking of the conspiracy theorists, this is for the fun Trump is owned by Israel crowd, which is always the lowest IQ crowd out there. Here's JD Vance calling out the Israelis for trying to vote now and making a statement about annexing the West Bank.
When I asked about it, somebody told me that it was a political stunt, that it had no practical significance. It was purely symbolic. I mean, look, if it was a political stunt, it was a very stupid political stunt, and I personally take some insult to it. The West Bank is not going to be annexed by Israel. The policy of the Trump administration is that the West Bank will not be annexed by Israel. That will continue to be our policy. And if people want to take symbolic votes, they can do that. But we certainly weren't happy about it. When I asked about it,
calling them out. You don't call out Israel. No president ever did this. Clinton, Bush 1, Reagan. You go all the way back. Nobody ever called out Israel until the Trump administration. So again, look at what's different. Dude, bro. Lolo. Who are you? Like, why would I debate you? You're a nobody. Why would I waste my time with you? And you're this is hilarious. You guys can't debate without going to this. Dude, you didn't give one receipt on anything. You said Trump's a traitor, which is idiotic. And then you brought no receipts on anything. And you're like, you don't bring receipts. I'm the one doing a show with receipts all day. Hey, Brett, you can show him the door. He's a moron. This guy, what do you jump in people's chats and are like, debate me, bro. I won't debate you. You're a nobody. You're a nobody. Get out of here. Say goodbye. I don't care if you're a veteran. So? What's that mean to me? Thank you for your service. I'm sorry, for whatever you went through. But being a veteran doesn't mean you just can go around doing whatever you want. Thanks for serving our country. But, obviously somewhere along the way you lost your mind. I'm sorry. It's just, jeez, man. These people, they think like, first of all, how entitled does he think he is? He came to my channel, ask questions. or provide a receipt on something and say, what do you think about this? But, just coming on and be like, dude, you got nothing to say. Oh, bro, you won't even debate me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why would I debate you? Oh, I'm a veteran. Okay. Okay. Jesus, oh my God. The entitlement. It's so funny. God bless you, buddy. Have a great life. Go find somebody who'll debate you. I'm sure there's somebody you can waste their time, but you're gonna have to come out with a little humility, and then we could have a conversation. But I don't debate people who just talk at me. That's insane. That's insane. Mark, I just don't follow you, bro. I'm sorry. I disagree. Okay. Mark, I actually like a lot of your stuff, but saying a grieving wife would be home with kids, not making speeches, that's just not true. That's just not true. People step up all the time. My parents died. My brother died. I was absolutely shattered, and I was able to get up and make speeches. It's like, I'm sorry. You make statements. You go on with life. Grief is not just grief. Everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently. So Mark, that is literally the worst, the worst, least logical reason to think Erica had anything to do with it. And I've seen that excuse before. It makes no sense. I know women who lost their husbands who were standing up in front of a church 3 days later saying amazing words. So, I mean, come on, bro. Come on. That is nothing. Jack Reeves, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Wizard Dragon, I like it. A new sub, I hope you subbed, and I appreciate if you did. So again, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Brett says, Doc Lolo, MSNBC, and CNN are looking for viewers. You might find a good place there. Retarded statements won't be tolerated here. That's right. I love it. Yeah, it's a squirrel chase. I agree. The closed casket doesn't mean anything to me either, Mark. Honestly, there's so many other reasons for that. So I'm sorry. Those are all, what's the word? Those are all circumstantial evidence that's not strong. Let me put it that way. So we got to see more than that to see Eric's going to get in there. Okay, last thing I wanted to, actually two last things. This is interesting. So let's talk about this sports thing real quick. Okay. Good night, Mark. This is crazy. So they busted 30 people, including Chauncey Billups, who's a Hall of Famer and is now the coach of the Blazers. And they busted the Terry Rozier and 30 other people. Okay, 30 other people involved in rigging NBA games for the mafia. And now they're showing there's some connections of LeBron James. So I know people get after me all the time because I'm a huge NFL fan. It's rigged, man. It's rigged. To which I always say, there's rigging in it for sure. Like that Bills Chiefs game last year, absolutely rigged. Absolutely rigged. But here's the deal. It's not all the players, and it's not every game. It's not all the coaches. Okay? There are people who they get to. Absolutely. Sometimes it's the head of the league, for sure. But you can't control every game all the time. And you can't control everything that happens, especially in the NFL. The NFL is extremely difficult. The NBA is much easier because the NBA, one player can have such an impact. In the NFL, that's more difficult. You got 11 guys on each side. There's a lot going on there. So it's rigged, and this is what Pedro always says. There's riggings, but it's not fixed. Okay, that's the difference. Fixed is like WWE wrestling. Okay, they already know who the winner is going to be at the end of the year. They work towards that, blah, blah, blah. They're chosen, they don't win it. It's just pure entertainment. Sports is different. sports can be rigged but not be fixed. And what we're seeing now, though, is that this is being exposed. Now, this is excellent, but it shows you a few things. A, this means that sports are going to be better, especially the NBA this season. It'll be better this year because they've already busted all this and nobody else is going to want to get busted this year. So it'll tone down. It's just like after the Tim Donaghy scandal got busted a few years ago, the ref who was cheating in the early days, in the early 2000s, I should say. The most famous game being Lakers Kings. So the fact is after that, the game's got a lot cleaner for a while. Well, now with all this exposure, it'll go down. But here's what's interesting. They've never gone after the mafia before. Never. Okay? They've never mentioned that before. Now, this is huge. This is also like Trump's going after cartels. Well, now he's going after the mafia's money. And he called them out. They named two of the mobs. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But that's Trump cleaning up mafia in America. And I believe this is going to keep spreading. It'll probably, I would not be surprised if we see an NFL scandal. I would not be surprised if we see Major League Baseball, maybe some other sports. I think this is going to spread. This is huge. They caught these guys literally hundreds of millions of dollars from the betting markets. People lost because of these guys. So sports betting, more prevalent than ever. And of course the mob's going to get theirs, except for when the Trump administration goes after them. And guys, this is the most another thing this proves is a freaking, there's so many people who thought Trump was with the mob because he'd done, he'd had some dealings with them before. Well, this disproves that. This is the first president I can remember in forever busting up anything mafia. So, just a big deal. And I think this story actually has much bigger implications than just what it is on its surface. I really do. I think this is going to keep spreading. So, but hey, this is putting the sports world on red alert. So we might get a really fair rest of the season, guys. For basketball and football, the World Series, it might be the best we've seen in a while. No fake stuff. Andy says, not sure the LeBron James stuff is true. Maybe it's not. I usually trust Dom Lucro, who shared this. He's pretty trustworthy, but I'll keep looking into it. Let's see. Yeah, Thomas Dubois said Blazers got Lillard last night. Was out with hamstring, looked fine last night. Yeah, right. Brett says they did go after the mafia back in the Henry Hills day for shaving points in college games. Yeah, but I mean, how long ago was that? 80s, 70s? So Michael Anthony says President Trump getting more done in a month than Harris could do in 4 years. Oh, yeah. Well, she would have gotten stuff done, but it would have been terrible for us. The Gambinos, you're right. CA Human, that was one. X-ray cables, something more marking cards. Are you talking about the Henry Hill stuff? White Sox pitcher infielder. Are you talking about the famous White Sox in the 1919? When the whole team was basically through the World Series, I think it was. Anyways, okay, CA Human has it. Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese. So 3 mob families busted in all this. This is crazy. I mean, it also shows you, in the old days, you didn't touch the mob, but it's interesting. Obviously the biggest mob city in the U.S. is, biggest mob city in the U.S. is Chicago. Trump's also trying to get into Chicago, clean up the crime there. I wonder if this has something to do with this. Andy says the FBI bust today was more about a poker cheating ring. Well, the online poker was how they were money laundering a lot of it. That's what was happening. It wasn't about the poker. The poker is just a part of it. Brett says Attorney General mentioned they had a table is able to X-ray cards when they were dealt to give them an advantage. Yeah, that too. Yeah. So poker, rigging games. I mean, did you guys see? I gotta show this clip. Let me see if I can find it. Rozier. You guys gotta see this guy, Terry Rozier. These clips of him like throwing the games. Yeah, look at this. Okay, I can't play the sound because it's NBA and NBA will copyright me real quick. This is one of the guys that was arrested today with the ball right there. Watch some of these plays he does. Look at that. Look at that pass to nobody. He's clearly shaving points or whatever on sports betting. I mean, it's crazy. All right, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. Live poker games run by the mobs using NBA players to lure fish into rigged poker games where most of the money was. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Well, I also know they're busting like Rozier. It goes further than that too. But you're right. Okay. I believe you, Andy. I believe you. You must. I guess I missed that part, but that makes sense. It does. Boston College point shaving during 78-79. Wow. CA Human says, I think that's why Trump always mentioned Capone, money crimes, how they go down. Oh, yeah. It's all about the money. And this is what is so interesting with Trump. He understands everything from an economic standpoint. And that's how he got the peace deal in Israel done, is understanding the economics and making deals with all these other countries. And so Trump knows, like, what is he? He's going through the money. He's turning off the USAID money. He's going after the guys funding Antifa. He's getting these mob families. It's all about the money over and over and over again. So just crazy stuff. What I read, Andy, the reason I didn't get that part from the poker. I did hear about the money laundering, and I heard that they were calling and they were telling people like ahead of time they were going to be injured, or they were going to sit out sick. So they pile a bunch of money on these games, and getting that aforementioned knowledge. So that was going on too. Anyways, it was just cheating all around, stealing from people all around. Did Diddy become a turncoat? I don't know. So that's interesting about LeBron James and Diddy. There has been some rumors that Diddy is going to get his sentence commuted by Trump. That is, I don't think that's happening because Trump. So let me put it this way: the only way that happens is if Diddy has been very helpful in busting other people. But if he does that, the attorneys can take him back to court and say he's been very helpful in these investigations. Let's get him a lighter sentence. That could happen. Trump politically can't afford to do. He can't afford to commute Diddy's sentence or pardon him. That would be so bad for him politically, and I think Trump knows that. So it's already been denied by the White House. But I would be shocked if Diddy gets anything from Trump. Thomas Wallace says, basketball player from Miami got busted. Robinhood sponsor logo on his jersey. Coincidence, Robinhood lets you bet on games. Yeah, right? Oh, it was long in the video. Okay, I must have just checked out at that point. I was working while I listened to it. Uncle says, one of the busts leads to information on the other, poker and illegal sports betting. Not sure which first. Okay. Well, the point is it always, either way, my point stands that this will have reverberations where the sports leagues will be much more careful and unlikely to get involved with this for at least a couple of years till the heat dies down, and then we might deal with it again. But they can't do this year. So this will be the cleanest sports seasons we've seen in a while. But also, I'm very interested to see where these investigations keep going, and if they mess up the mobs and start breaking up some of the mafia. Last thing I wanted to share tonight before I go, because it's getting late. Cook Political. So Cook Political Report is like gospel to Washington, D.C. It's really, they're not that great, but they are important to D.C. because they're left-leaning and they've been around a long time. They get a lot of money. And they now have ratings in the midterms. They have 216 safe Republican seats. That's holding the House. Actually, no, you need 218 for the House. That's 2 away from having the House next year already. And Democrats are 16 away. They got 202 safe seats. This is before a couple other states might redistrict. California might redistrict, so this will bump up a little bit. But I think if the Cook Political Report's already rating this way, it means that unless Republicans really screw stuff up, guys, we should hold the House next year, which will be huge. So crazy stuff. But again, just more proof that we're winning. Things are going well. And again, whatever happens the next few days, few weeks, we're heading into the holidays. This is the time of year where the markets get crazy. I just think I keep seeing all that's going on, and to me, it just looks more and more like I really do think Trump and the team, they know what they're doing. And we got to keep praying. We got to keep doing what we can do in our communities or sharing whatever it is that's just our little part. But if we all do that and we don't take our foot off the gas, big things are coming. Really good big things are coming. And so the Rams 49ers game seems fixed. How dare you, Rum Dog? That was not fixed. That was all heart. That was all heart, baby. Don't you dare talk about my Niners that way. Maybe fixed against us and we overcame it. So there's that. But anyways, how dare you? Go Niners. We got a big game this week against the Texans. Anyways, guys, love you guys. Appreciate you. I'm going to call tonight. It's late. If there's big news this week, I might be on. I do want to share with you guys that I have seen. Uncle Andy says that Giants-Broncos game seemed rigged. Dude, I don't know. Did you see some of the plays in that game? There's no way you could have rigged those plays. Like the bounce off the guy and the other guy caught it. You can't make that happen. That's just sports sometimes. I don't know. I watched the entire fourth quarter. Didn't seem rigged. It seemed legit, but usually you can tell the ones that are rigged, like, when the Chiefs never get called for holding. So that's rigged. But anyways, not one holding call in all the Super Bowls they won, including 2 against the Niners. Yeah. With Nick Bosa, the best, D end in football, getting held left and right, no calls. That's how they beat us. Just so you guys know. Anyways, what was I going to say? I was going to say this. On my channel, I'm, you guys who've been around a while, you might have noticed the last 2 days I've posted a Tucker Carlson video where he is debating college students for Turning Point, and I've also posted the video of the FBI talking about their sting in the NBA and everything. I am going to do this more often. I'm going to share things that I think are important that maybe not a lot of people are watching. Okay, so like with that Tucker thing, I saw it only in one other place. The Kash Patel thing, I didn't see it many places. And so if I see important news conferences or big stories or engaging press conferences, I'm going to start sharing that on my channel so people can catch some like hard news as well. Okay. So just so you guys know, if you start seeing stuff pop up and you're like, whoa, Ace is on. I'm still going to do my regular schedule lives. That's not changing, but I'm just trying to add more to my channel because I think sometimes I talk to you guys and I've talked to some people and like they liked seeing like the clips of say when Kash Patel was getting grilled by the Senate and they might have wanted to watch the whole thing. Well, I'm going to make that stuff easier for you guys to find. And so I'm going to start putting that on my channel a little bit. So, and you guys can let me know if you like it or not. But so far, like the Tucker Carlson one I posted, it's been the biggest video I've ever posted. So I'm like, okay, some people clearly want this. So just so you guys know, that's a change coming to my channel, but it's an addition and there's no subtraction as a result. It's just something extra. And I will just be catering it as I can with my time and seeing how it goes. Moose with the 5 memberships. Thank you, Moose. That's awesome, man. Kryptonian, Ryan, Terramore, Vinman, Don Clady. Welcome in, guys. Now you can watch the members lives. So welcome in. What schedule? Yeah. Sorry, Alan. I misspoke clearly. No, I do have a schedule. I just don't have times on that schedule. I have days. You guys almost always see me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for members, and Thursdays. Okay. So I do keep a schedule, Alan. It's just not time. Okay. I don't give you guys the time. You guys have to guess. Late night, but when? That's my schedule. But it is those days. I keep true to those days. And so, can I have the retard of the day, says Brett? I will try. Maybe that's a special segment I can add into my my live shows, or maybe at least retard of the week. So we'll see. But anyways, all right, guys, before I go, please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. It's good to be back full strength after a couple hard days. Feel good, ready to keep doing this. Love it. Yeah, just you guys are the best. Love doing this show. So let's end in a prayer, and then you guys can head out. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless this people watching, Lord. Thank you for Thomas, that he's doing better. He's fighting. He's winning his fight. So we pray that that fight gets fully won against cancer in Jesus' name. And God, just pray for our country, that you continue, Lord, to just put it on the right track. And we pray for Trump and the administration and everybody in Washington, D.C. and all over the nation fighting for good and for justice, Lord, prosperity, come back to America. Pray you give them wisdom in navigating crazy times. Pray that if a market is on the verge of doing some insane, a crash or a major correction, God, that you just give them wisdom in navigating that, and that they use it, God, to the advantage of the people and fixing things, and that it won't be the kind of thing that actually sets back the progress we're making in our country, but rather is an opportunity to fix stuff so that they're better going forward. So, but we pray that, Lord, and just and say thank you for all you've done so far and what you continue to do in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, blessings, guys. Have a wonderful night. You guys are the best. Again, like and subscribe on the way out.